And Rocky, final candidate to speak to this issue.
As the only veteran of the current war, Operation Enduring Freedom, I've served 2 tours overseas. And as I mentioned at the opening comments, I have 2 of my band of brothers sitting with me that I served with about 42 weeks ago when we got back home. I will say this, that is a little bit more to the argument than just setting up an arbitrary date. It's also about lifting the rules of engagement. Folks, unless we fight this war under what Sun Tzu wrote, lifting the rules of engagement, and Sun Tzu wrote the book on how to fight a war. And that's what was taught to me as an infantry officer, as well as an enlisted man in the infantry. I served both times. Unless we actually commit to fighting the war and fight the war and support our soldiers, bring them home tomorrow. Because all we're doing right now is basically nation building and putting our men and women, my brothers and sisters, in harm's way for no reason. Lift the rules of engagement, fight the war, or bring this home immediately.
And my apologies, please. My apologies, sir. Who you are the final candidate to speak to this issue?
Well, I'm taking over in Iraq and staying in the other country, and General Petraeus is probably one of the greatest military men in the world, and he knows what to do and how to get us in and win this war. And I think it's only fair that so many American boys and gals have lost their life fighting for America, and it's America's war, and they must finish it.
Thank you, Judge Cook. This question from the audience, a gentleman named Dan, and we'll begin with Ann at this time. Have you, or have you in particular, and this was for all the candidates, been endorsed by Michigan Right to Life this year? If not, or if so, what is your position on abortion?
I'm pro-life. And this organization, like everybody is there, I don't know what they were using the word, like everybody, Rocky and Paul, is like worthy of their endorsement, but they are not endorsing anybody right now. They don't like that. Yes, I'm pro-life from conception to natural death.
Thank you, Jim. I am pro-life, and Right to Life endorsed me in previous elections. In this election, they endorsed all of us. They said that all of us meet the criteria. But I will say that there's another organization that you should look at, and that's the National Right to Life Coalition. And they have a website that you can go to and see where we actually differ on intricate details. For example, Dan, I don't know where you are, Dan, but embryonic stem cell research and so forth. I've been 100% pro-life my whole career, and from embryonic stem cell to where life begins, I will actually fight for that. I believe that it's a constitutional issue. Taking religion out of it, it's a constitutional issue.
And Judge Cook, your position on abortion?
I'm pro-life. Pro-life, let us all know that they are endorsing nobody in this race, and I am pro-life. Period.
Paul?
Well, the judge and Rocky and Ann and Mark, Right to Life of Michigan has told us that all of us must be endorsing the criteria. I was endorsed by Right to Life in 2008, both the primary and a general election. And I can tell you, as the father of a 3-week-old baby, I can't see any other way to look at this issue. When I first saw that child, while she was still a fetus in the ultrasound, anyone knows that that's a life. You can't deny it. And we have to do whatever it takes to protect innocent human life. And that means all of us here, all of us in this room, have to stand up and stand up proudly and be pro-life, which I am.
All right, so the next question, back from our prepared questions, and Rocky, we begin with you on this. It is a complicated question having to do with the immigration reform. Would you support the deportation of illegal aliens, or should there be some kind of pathway to citizenship, and of course the question of border security?
Jim, I don't even understand why we're actually debating the topic when it starts with the word illegal. I just find it hard to understand that we're actually debating a topic that's illegal. When it's illegal, it's illegal. I brought with me today the Welcome to the United States, a Guide to New Immigrants. By the way, you can pick this up in 83 different languages, thanks to the taxpayers' cost. Yes, I do believe in deporting. I believe in documenting and deporting, but I also go a step further. I believe that we should make English our national language. English should be our national language. Furthermore, any employer that hires illegal aliens should be fined. Any employer that knowingly hires, does not go through the E-Verify system, should be fined. And lastly, let me also add one other thing, and that is this. We need to stop doling out benefits to illegal aliens, because we're ruining our country, going further in debt, and those benefits are for us, not for anyone else.
Judge Cooper, your response to the same question, please hold your applause. Your response to the same question, the issue of, no, Judge Cooper, your feelings about illegal immigration and what should be done.
I believe what we're doing in Arizona is absolutely correct, because the President of the United States is not doing the job he should do in that state. And Michigan could adopt it too, and I'd be very, very happy.
The way we hold our applause, our respect for time. Well, again, the judge is right on the mark here. Arizona is stepping in where the federal government has failed. And that isn't just Democratic administrations, it's Republicans too. And in many cases for political reasons. We have to do one thing first, folks, before we talk about immigration reform, and that's secure our borders. That may mean finishing the fence, that may mean putting troops in certain areas, but it also means enhancing our ports of entry. And that includes airports, not just along the Canadian and the southern border, but people are coming in all the time. You remember most, if not all, of the 9/11 bombers were illegal. They'd extended their stays and their visas and what have you. So we need to make a commitment to stopping illegal immigration, because again, that is what the Constitution gives the federal government the power and the authority to do. I would make one last point. I agree with Rocky, we do need to make English the official language, but we also need to go a step further. And we need to end birthright citizenship here in the United States. There's absolutely no reason why this practice should be tolerated. The Constitution doesn't demand it.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul. And Janet, same question, illegal immigration and immigration reform.
I agree. We should like close the borders and watch very carefully who's coming over here. When I came here legally 4 years ago, I went through like interviews. If I was a communist, I wouldn't be here. If I was like older or sick person, I wouldn't be here. And now everybody can come. We bomb people in other countries, and then we leave these borders open, and these angry people come here and insisting to live here like we should follow their whatever.